My name is Bryson Kapangira Sampa. So the name comes from Kapangira. So it's just a shortcut of Kapangira. So I got into auto spares business because an opportunity was presented to me. So I saw the demand in the business. I saw what was missing on the market. And then I focused on those pieces that were missing. Then that's how I went into auto shop. So I believe into market segmentation. So we picked a segment which is just European cars, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Volkswagen, Land Rover, just a few of those. And we needed to do our best in terms of customer service. So we focused on a small segment to ensure that we do our best. People should come to cars because we keep quality spares. We ensure that quality is watched, quality is maintained. We've got a very close relationship with most suppliers where we check quality. If an item is purchased and it has issues, we like getting feedback from clients, and also we pass it over to our suppliers. And also we've got a variety stock. We've got about maybe 80% sitting in stock. So most working clients who have to just walk in and buy the spare parts. We are found in Lusaka along Freedom Way as our first store, Frank and S building. Then we've got also another store within Lusaka, Karambo Road, opposite Wire Force. Then in Kitwe, we are along Freetown Road, just opposite engine filling station on Independence Avenue. And then in Solwezi, we are on Independence Avenue, just behind DAP. Then we recently opened a new store in Livingstone, which is along Kapondo Street.
Tan 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 tan, 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 tan 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 tan.
That's that podcast. What's happening? Pa, 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 pa. I keep forgetting I'm still doing that with my mouth sometimes. Eh? when I've got the button. That habits die hard, man.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, welcome to That's That Podcast. My name is K+, also known as the Podfather. And today we are at a very special venue. And it's one of those venues that I wish I could do up as well. And I think I should, inspired by Mag44. This place is called
Loop
College.
Yeah.
And the other special thing about this episode is we actually have students from this college.
Yeah.
Levi, maybe we could just zoom into them. This guy, say hi. Don't be boring now. Yeah. So I think before we go deeper into this, Mag, where are we? What's the Loop College and who are these people?
So Loop College is basically a sound school. We recently rebranded from Music Loop Academy to Loop College because we wanted to be more accommodating of. We realized that we can't just tackle music; we have to tackle sound because there's sound engineering and all of that, and also other spectrums to do with music, dancing, and all that. So we thought if we, for the sake of expansion, Loop College will be more 360 than just Music Loop. So so basically this is where we are. We have no more classes. These classes then lead into internships, and then we also have workshops. So today's workshop attracted these guys. So I know some of them are students, some of them just came specifically for the workshop.
These are the guys interested in podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what you may not have seen earlier is that we're actually teaching the fundamentals of podcasting. What is a podcast?
Yeah.
What equipment do we use for our podcast? And how do we put it out there? How do you grow a podcast? These are some of the questions that were asked by the students here. And we tackled most of these things earlier.
Yeah.
So Loop College.
Right.
These are the students. How long have you been doing this for?
This is our 5th year, can you believe?
What?
Yeah, business sucks, bro. When starting something, like when we started, we had because of course we are telling people, look, we are going to teach you music. We're going to teach you how to, use software and all that. And people are just like, we don't believe you. You know what I mean? Because it takes some time for you to buy people's trust. You know what I mean?
True.
So, things have only really started picking up in the last year and this year. I think a big endorsement on our end was definitely Sampa The Great, because she sponsored like
No way.
30 girls
Serious?
to make. So there was the girls making beats program we had. So that was huge. I don't know why people listen to Sampa and they don't listen to me. I don't know what I did. But anyway, so now so of course, like that was amazing. Of course, Maki2 also sponsored some students.
Wow. Big ups to him, man.
Yeah.
Big ups.
Oh
yeah.
We get
I forgot.
you have an actual audience to
I know, right?
To layer the
Yeah, true.
Yeah, man. So and it's been good to see a lot of artists support. I know B Flow is also one of those supporters of the school. Esther Chungu, Pompey as well. The Proof also sponsors. So it's really been a thing of where other artists recognize that, look, we do need to pass on the baton. We need to make sure we create a platform that can help artists.
You're talking about so many people who've been sponsored to come to the school. I'm only seeing 5. How many? 7 people here today?
We can't fit the entire catalog of students.
Oh, so like on a normal day,
on a
it's
normal day,
really busy place.
Well, no. So basically, what we do is the classes are 2 months long.
Right.
So basically, this is probably our 3rd class.
Yeah.
So in each class, you have about 20. So 20 January, February, 20 March, April. So it's kind of like that. Then from there, we ship them off to internships. So they won't always be here. Yeah. So
when you ship them off to internship and they're able to get jobs from there, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
What's been the, how do I put this? The
star student.
The star students, and where are they working at right now?
I mean, right now, there's a bunch of them who handle some of the biggest TV shows in Zambia.
Serious?
So Zuba is edited by, the sound edit is done by a lot of our students.
One of your alumni here.
Yeah, exactly. Makofi as well. I mean, some of these students drive better cars than me now. So maybe I should become.
But that should make you proud, though.
Exactly. It does make me feel good. Because that's the idea, if you wanna go forward, you have to leave some sort of legacy. Yeah,
it's a true mark of a leader. A leader should make more leaders,
right?
Like you have, man.
Yeah. No, we do our best.
By the way, this episode is brought to you by Right Price and Caps Spares Solutions. So if you're looking for spares for any of your European cars, I know most of our viewers drive European cars because our viewers are rich people like your students here.
I saw a bunch of cars. I'm like,
you see what I mean? Because I mean, how else do you explain people coming to a platform like ours to spend money to watch that Z podcast?
Exactly.
People with money like these people. So for those who drive European cars, Cap Spare Solutions got you. And for those who have gadgets in their homes that they no longer use, like video games, you've got cameras, you've got TVs, radio, stereos that you don't use anymore, you can take them to Right Price, trade them in. He will buy them from you, or you can give him your old stuff like computers, Mag. I saw some computers in this place.
Right.
You want to upgrade, you can actually take them to Right Price, give him your old one, he gives you a new one, and you just top up a little bit. So he's trading in all these gadgets, whatever you have in your home. You could be sitting on a lot of money and not even know it.
That is something I didn't know stuff like that happens in Zambia.
Right Price.
That's cool. Yeah.
So he's found at arcades, Levy Mall. They're also in Kitwe Town Center and Dola Town Center. Taking your old gadgets, even your phones. I saw some really old phones with yours. Like her.
Shade has been.
I'm throwing shade. It's not even shade. This is casting a light on it. Anyway, Mag, thanks a lot for coming through to that Z podcast. And for me, you are an interesting subject because there's so much that is not known about you.
Right.
And everybody who's listened to your music or has interacted with you in any way feels they know Mag44, but I think that's far from the truth. I've spoken to guys like Cohen who says, I don't think anybody knows Mag44, man. So much happens in his private life that the podcast needs to bring up, but we can get to that a little later.
Sure.
I'd love to talk about your origins. You are the son of the great Charles Mando.
Yeah.
And for those under 5 who do not know who Charles Mando is, Charles Mando was a journalist and TV presenter.
Right, yeah.
Who gave Kenneth Kaunda headaches every time he was being interviewed by Charles Mando.
Ish.
Do you feel, coming from such a background, that there was no other way for you apart from ending up in media? Having a father like
having
that.
a father like
Yeah.
I mean, I really, I don't know. I remember when I did try to do journalism school, and of course the lecturer was like, "You'll never be like your father. Get out of here." so I said, okay, you're probably right, because I used to try to do some TV presenting.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have seen some clips around, and
If you don't know the TV show he's talking about, these guys looked ugly. Him and Slap D. You guys looked ugly on that show, man. There was a show on movie TV. That's where I knew you from. 2004, 5, 6, somewhere.
Yes.
There was a show called Sizzle. He was a pathetic TV presenter. Slap D was a pathetic rapper, and somehow they came and tried to make this show happen.
Man, yeah, no, it was. I mean, you know how it is when you're trying everything too, because you wanna just blow. So so I started doing that. So that was sort of like me trying to walk in my father's footsteps, I guess. Then I realized that Appa, I don't think this is the calling. And of course, when I started pursuing my belief, my relationship with God, is when I kind of felt God tell me, like, look, stop doing the TV show, stop rapping, in fact. And for me, I didn't do too well in school. We won't talk too much about that.
Let's not inspire the kids the wrong way.
Please do well in school. We will fail you. So I mean, it was like all I knew was basically rapping and that TV show. So but then I sort of, at the time I was like an addict and all that. So I kind of felt like, let me see what this means. Maybe I need time to sort of, deal with my issues and all that. So, so I stopped doing the TV show. I stopped rapping. And that's the time I discovered my passion, which is probably my number one source of income, which is producing, And so now when the producing started, so it was during that time of like silence, when I didn't have anything really going on, is when I started like making beats and discovered that, this is a talent that I can actually use. And from there on, went to obviously produce all these different artists, and work with all these corporates and stuff. And man, like I don't even know if that was the question.
Yeah, it was. You have quite explained. Like I asked if whether you felt like you had no choice considering who your father was.
Right.
This famous journalist / TV presenter. He was actually called the chairman. Where did that title come from?
That, to be honest, I don't know, bro. He died when I was 5. So like
right. You didn't know much.
So I didn't know much.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried to watch a few clips here and there, and Elson, this is when
look who joined us.
You are late.
You all right?
Good.
I call him the late Elson.
That is kind of a bit.
That's appropriate.
I don't know how appropriate it is, because.
Crap! What are we talking about dropping out of college? He just mentioned a minute ago.
Yes,
you're not too late, by the way. He just mentioned a minute ago that he actually also dropped out of college. And what was your reason, though?
My reason for dropping out of college, I just didn't do, like, first of all, it was money. That was one of the things. But then I just kind of felt like this is not for me, because I did business.
Education?
Education and the particular thing I was gonna study anyways, which was I started
Theology?
business administration. No, theology. I actually did finish that.
Oh shit! I actually just said that as a joke.
Yeah, but it's true. I did. I did. So Praise Christian Center as a Bible school that I went to, and I did. Well, I wouldn't say that I did the full degree. It was just like a certificate.
Oh shit! You cut your hair. Oh wow! Look at that.
It's a special episode. I had to look a certain way.
You're not gonna talk about my haircut. I also cut my hair.
Mike, you look the same all the time, man. So you look the same all the time.
You always cut your hair.
Yeah, dude, that's right.
Growing up so you grew up with your mom only?
Yeah, only my mom. Yeah. So
there's a certain way that Elson and I feel. I think we've mentioned this in other episodes before, by people who've been raised by a single mom.
Yeah.
single moms seem to spoil their children. What was
Very
it
true.
like?
Well, I
for
think
you?
it's like one of two extremes.
exactly.
And I'm about to piss off our feminists here, but I've always felt like a woman cannot raise a man.
That is true. Unfortunately, and I also don't know if a man can raise a woman, to be honest. So
Yeah, because I feel like more to that point,
right.
women naturally, inherently are emotional beings,
Yeah.
right? And so they're gonna parent out of emotion. So if it's a single mother, she's gonna have one of two extremes. Either she's gonna be too soft on the child,
Right.
to say,
Yep.
this is
Yeah,
my only
sure.
child, or she's too harsh, right? Like I don't want to raise a pussy, so I'm
Right.
gonna be too hard. Where a child needs a balance.
Wow. Yeah. Cool. You really do cuss quite a lot. So. But it's.
Oh my bad.
No, it's cool. No, it's not cool. It's not cool.
Second nature.
I think for the purpose of this interview, Ken.
You can no, man. This is
Maybe.
cool. No, and it's you.
Look, you deal with rappers, bro.
Exactly.
You've
I
heard
do.
way worse shit.
More way.
mean, stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So I also have, I still struggle with cussing. So what I do is I obviously do, censor myself. So fudge and...
You say fudge?
I say fudge, yeah.
My 6-year-old
Shut
son
the
says
front
fudge.
door.
No, are you serious you say that?
your
Yeah, I
son,
do,
your
I
son
do,
says
I do.
what?
Fudge.
Fudge.
I
Okay.
heard my son, I told you this on the one episode.
Yeah.
I had my son carry a speaker into the car, so the speaker was too heavy. So as he was trying to chuck the speaker into the boot,
Yeah.
he goes, shit.
Oh, snap.
6-year-old son.
You have to monitor
But
what
with
those
a-
kids watch. But
man.
anyways,
With a
they,
father
they,
like
they watch
Nelson.
you. It's
Yeah, I broke him.
What do you expect? I mean,
Yeah, I broke him.
dude. So
Are you wearing a church uniform?
everybody has talked about it.
I prepared myself to come here.
you prepped yourself to come here.
I
Yeah.
prepared myself to come here, but then I didn't know what time exactly you were starting. So I thought I could knock out a bed with one stone or two stones. So I thought maybe I could go to church and then come over. But then after I realized that if I go home and then I come, I'll take a lot of time. Instead, it's the same thing. There's nothing much different wearing a church uniform and attending a podcast. After all,
Wow.
And then-
Okay.
This
okay.
logic.
I don't know
If you
which
say so.
I don't know which sound
Wrong
effect you
podcast.
use for that one.
Do you ever get hit on by guys in that uniform?
Wow.
Do you ever get hit on?
Are we able to zoom in on her?
I mean,
Are you able to stand up?
you want me to stand
Yeah.
up?
Yes.
Like it's gonna be crazy, right?
You know the biggest mind fuck is that you're wearing a church uniform and you've got specs, and I've got a theory about girls that wear specs.
Wow.
Nah, let's not have that theory here. There's kids here.
Yes, these are students. Thank you.
They're students.
There's two girls wearing specs.
Well, yeah, let's leave it at that.
Meg,
Yes, you may.
Meg, we're talking about your childhood, and of course, you have explained about you growing up with a single mom and all. And you did mention that when you became a Christian, you stopped doing the TV show Sizzle.
Right.
Help me understand what led to the transformation in the first place for you to. How did you even become a Christian? What led to?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, and I feel like this is a reason why a lot of people don't want to become Christians, because they kind of feel like it's like a weak decision to make, because it's like oh, you can't take care of yourself, so you're gonna put it on this God, you know what
You're
I
gonna
mean?
use it as a crutch.
Yeah, use it as a crutch, and so people and people basically want to be in control of their lives, right? You wanna know that you are able to secure yourself, and so you see, so Christianity a lot is normally associated with like poverty, like oh, the poor people are the ones who fill up the churches because they need that, right? But I think one of the biggest things I had to realize is that I am weak, and I think so is everybody else. It's the only difference is that people don't admit it to themselves. And for me, what Christianity is saying like, I am weak and he is strong. Like you can't do it on your own. You need him. So that's really what it is essentially. So for me to arrive at that decision, I fought that decision for a long time because I kind of felt like, no, I don't want to go out like a punk. I don't want people to think I'm a Christian because, like, you know, life is rough, and you know, like, I'm not making money from Sizzle or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So like, I wanted to, like, I always thought to myself, like, I'll make this decision because I've grown up in a Christian home. So like, Christianity has sort of just been part of like the culture in the house, you know. So I kind of felt like I want to become a Christian when I'm like rich and I'm doing well. Then I say, okay, you know, yeah, I'm doing well, but you know, I'm also a Christian at the same time. And it's not, but then, you know, weakness is on so many levels, you know, like we've talked about mental health. There's so many different issues that people go through, even when you've conquered something like, you know, poverty. There's still issues that, you find a person who's rich and, you know, kills themselves, but like, and you wonder why. But then the thing is that everyone has a weakness, right? Everyone has a thing that oppresses them. But now I believe that oppression is taken care of by God. You know,
I think also to make a good Christian.
Of course I would.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
He would be the
He'd
best.
be like,
You know
Saul.
what?
Like when Saul became Paul. This
Right,
is
that
it. Yeah.
would be the guy.
Let me tell you something just now. This nigga here asking if I'll become a good Christian.
Yes.
Ask him what he was Googling just now.
What is that? Please. Let's
Bible verses.
and-
That's how little he knows about the Bible.
Okay, tell me what 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14
I don't
says.
know, but I'm gonna Google it.
I have to Google it for me to be accurate.
No, but then again,
For accuracy's sake.
if you have to Google it, you don't know about it. Why you
No.
about shit you
I
don't know?
do not want to quote the Bible out of context. I want to be accurate, which is why I was Googling
This-
it. And listen to the verse
why
I
were you
was Googling.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus wept.
Wow.
That's
No,
John 11:36. You didn't know that, did you?
35. Wow. The woman of God has spoken.
What's that?
He's even lying about the Bible.
Oh, and that's the thing. Like, you know, the thing.
It's 35.
You are close.
See, you were saying
I was one verse close.
You were saying a whole different verse.
Now, I think I was talking about when he weeps, and then they take him to Lazarus, right? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. While I was Googling the Bible verse,
Yeah, I was also
so you
wondering.
become a Christian now,
Right.
and you stop Sizzle, you stop producing.
Right.
I feel it's a little hypocritical that you leave a show like Sizzle because you're a Christian now,
Yeah.
but then you get into production and you start producing music with secular artists.
Right.
Because, and this is why I was...
Don't yell,
This is why
dude.
Elson caught me...
No, he needs to speak to a lot of people.
Exactly. This is why Elson caught me Googling, because I was trying to quote 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14.
Right.
Be ye not equally yoked
Yoked.
with unbelievers.
Oh, damn.
For what fellowship has a righteous man with wicked people? What do they have in common?
Yeah.
Or what fellowship can light have with darkness?
Right.
So you're producing for a lot of secular artists and you leave
Yeah.
one show because it's secular. Don't you feel that's a little hypocritical?
I didn't leave it because it's secular, actually.
Well,
I left
you
it.
just sort of gave that reason. So
No, I mean I guess you misunderstood what I meant. But
Okay.
I left it because of the condition of my heart. So like for what where I wanted to be, right? The reason for me to sort of get into all of this, I wanted to be famous. You know what I mean? That was like,
You wanted to be famous?
yes, I
That was
wanted
the
to be
goal?
That was the end, like number one goal.
How old were you then, bro?
I was like 15 or something.
show me something.
So I mean, when I was doing the show,
That's-
when I was doing the show, I was like 19.
That's awesome. Sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
The reason why I say that, when you
Right.
say you want to be famous and that's your goal,
Right.
him and I always fight about
Right.
one particular thing when it comes to this podcast. He's laughing
What?
because he
Yeah.
knows.
I know where this is going.
Say what we fight about.
It being a visual podcast, why can't we just have an audio
I
podcast?
don't want cameras.
Really?
He is so fixated on the visual. I
Yes.
feel this takes out a lot when it comes to creativity, when it comes to what you have to talk about.
Right.
You're wearing sunglasses right now.
Yes.
You know
It's
what I
true.
mean?
It's true.
And I feel like
we
if
talked
we
about
were
that
to
earlier.
if we were to do this, it takes away that
The realness.
Right.
that theater of the mind where we can sit as just people and have like real conversations.
Right.
I feel like he loves the fame a little too much. That's why I sort of like caught you on that.
I see. Oh,
You were talking about, I was asking about it being hypocritical. You were explaining something.
right. Oh yeah. So well, I mean, what is interesting is that this was
Wait, can you just see this is?
who's that? that is me.
this?
It's Slap D and me.
Slept you way.
In a white t-shirt.
No, you're lying.
Levi, please put this on the screen when we talk about it. Eh? That's Slabdeen.
There's no Slabdeen in this video.
Anyway, you were saying, bro. Sorry for disturbing again.
Anyway, so what was crazy is, so for me it was more of like the why, right? Like, why am I doing this? Why? So I kind of felt like, I feel like these different giftings that we have, whether it's rapping or making beats or you guys doing the podcast, like this. These are superpowers essentially, right? So what you do with this superpower of yours, with great power comes, great responsibility, right? So the thing is, you've got this power, and what you use it for is important, right? So that's kind of what I feel like that period was for me. Like, it was a period of me sort of asking myself, okay, why do I want to become popular? Why do I want to pursue this direction of life, right? And then from there is when I so that time really helped me solidify that aspect for myself. And so now, during that time, I was not doing any TV shows. I was more of the producing was more in the background. And at the time, I was only producing gospel artists actually. So now, even now, when I get into it now, when I work with secular artists, it's always about something that is bigger than something that is. I have to look at it as something that is going to benefit everybody. You know what I mean? If it's working with Sampa The Great, we are trying to push Zambia Kuchalo. You know what I mean? That's a big
agenda.
A big agenda. That's not only developmental for me and Sampa. It's developmental for the whole industry. We now start to look at ourselves as, if Sampa's music can be on Black Panther, everybody else can do it as well. So that's sort of like, so that's what I mean when you've got this great power. What are you gonna do with it? Are you just gonna use it for yourself, or And this is now what leads up to us starting the school. We are now saying, okay, I can make beats. Let me teach other people to make beats. And these people can hopefully even do greater than I did, So it's a thing of it. So now that purpose is what I needed to discover, and that's why I took a step back. I could do Sizzle now, but I suck. You guys are now around, and I can't.
Let's not stop.
Also looks disturbed by what he saw in that video. So
no, he's telling lies. I don't know why you're telling lies right now. We've got Christians.
When I saw that video this morning, I'm like, this can't be Slabdeen.
Yeah, it's not. It's funny. The point that you just raised now, I was thinking about this, where you said with Sampa The Great, you were trying to push Zambia Kuchalo. It almost feels like you kind of overdid it, where she became way more accepted out in the world than maybe not accepted, but a lot more popular, recognized.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed a lot of people in Zambia would say, I dare you to name 3 Sampa The Great songs. But she's doing amazing work out there. Kind of feels like she's,
She is. And I think that, you see, the thing is, when you're trying to make change or when you're trying to do something great, there will be people who have sort of like, who will be like, you're not doing anything. Hey, you ain't nothing. You know what I mean? So I think that, the attitude she has is like, look, I'm going to do what I do. If you want to mess with it, cool. Let's go forward with it. If you don't, hey, that's up to you. But I think that there has been a mindset change, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So like, they I know a lot of artists who I speak to now, people are like, you know what? We can't take this music to the rest of the world. We can.
Do you get people that come to you now because they want to be on her level, like artists?
Of course, that
happens, right?
Yeah, that's
they like make me like Sampa The Great.
Exactly. I don't want to put any
male or female.
Both. But then the thing is that
you're being political. Just give me a name.
Okay, look, the thing is, I could also be assuming wrong, because what I do know is that there is obviously a larger number of artists that want to work with me after that.
I think if Mtale Mwanza could sing, she would come and say that to you.
Wow.
Because I think she wants to be there.
I think Mtale Mwanza. Does she want to sing?
And I said, I think if she could sing, she would say that.
She would.
Make me like Sampa.
Okay. I think, well, I don't know if it comes to style, I would say they are different people. So I wouldn't, she definitely does want to take it to the rest of the world, but I think it would be in a different route, which is something that I think is still appreciated. I think every artist doesn't have to, go the Sampa route, but they do need to see how whatever we have here can be exported to the rest of the world, and it doesn't have to be through me. The only thing that I feel Sampa did is show like, okay, this is possible, and then now people can now figure out however they want to take Zambia Kuchalo, they can do it in their own way. And another discussion we've been having is bringing Kuchalo to Zambia. You know what I mean? Because I'm imagining a situation where I become such a great artist and I say, if you want to watch me, you just have to come watch me from Zambia, and people from all around the world travel to come and see me here. I think like that's also good for our tourism, good for bringing in those dollars and bringing in that international money. Yeah. So
I've seen a lot of African artists do that. You know a guy called Ja Praiser from Zim?
I've heard of him. Yeah, I know.
Whenever he collaborates with regional and international artists, like with Davido,
right,
with Diamond, he makes them sing Shona.
Oh snap! Yeah. That is cool.
So similar to what you're saying.
Yeah. That is cool. Yeah. I saw Maki2 do that to the late AKA. Yeah, sure. I think that there is a bit of that. Also, Pompey did that with an artist called Limo Blaze. You guys know Limo Blaze?
No.
You don't know Limo Blaze? That Jaira, you're in big,
I know
like the sort of like the Afrobeat, the Afrobeat version. Anyways, so he's got a massive song which I think everyone in the world,
except Elson.
Yeah. Oh, Sampa sold. Yeah, she
sold out in Canada, I think, right?
Right. Yeah, I think she's done 2 sold out shows so far.
Sheesh.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Look at you censoring
She's
yourself.
killing it.
I'm proud of you.
I'm learning.
Learning the art.
I'm around Christians here. I don't want to burst into flames.
Speaking of being around Christians,
imagine if we're like the God of the Old Testament.
Yeah,
unlike me right there.
Like this, you wouldn't have reached 80 episodes. That's for sure.
Intro.
No.
Your
But
retribution was like instant.
I think it was still cool. It's just those guys were quite messed up.
Yeah.
They were quite messed up.
Do you think Sodoma and Gomorrah is worse than Lusaka?
Definitely.
Bruh.
Bro, these people. Look,
Same
it's
level,
like,
same
I mean, if I don't even know if I should say some of the stories. Like some of the stories
It's
are
in the
quite.
Bible.
It's in the Bible, but it's like
what?
Like, I mean, these guys wanted to sleep with angels, basically. So like, to put it, you should read Judges 19. Away. You know, it's like, hey, guy, I wanna. You know, it's like, I mean, like, what's going on in your head? Like, you know, like. So it gets a bit.
No, but that's crazy.
It does get a bit crazy, but it also just shows like the condition. Like, I mean, someone said. A human being under the right circumstances is capable of anything. So like people just need to be people just need to be told to think a certain way and they will do some crazy things. So like I think that people were just a bit like, because I mean the thing is we have to accept that our bodies are sinful, right? So you are capable of doing the worst thing.
Not mine.
You believe me, if you're put in the right and that's why I guess, you know, Jesus came to set us free from all of that. But like it's don't think that, which is why I keep saying like the human body is weak. You know what I mean?
The
like
spirit is willing.
The spirit is willing, yes. But you as a human being, you are capable of just foolish
Speak for yourself, man. I don't know why you're trying to project your
weaknesses
with you.
your wicked ways onto some of us.
You came late, so that's already wickedness right there.
Right. I could have. Let me show you something.
Right.
Let me show you.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on angels, bro. People shagging angels.
Hey,
I'm still stuck on that.
This basically goes to show. I think I showed you this.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah, he was driving at 200 kilometers per hour just to get here.
So
this was like an hour in.
Let me just.
Is that the police there?
Yeah.
Oh, traffic. Let me just show Baratza.
Hey, what are you doing?
Baratza, you can
So the
sponsor
fact
this
that I was like
episode.
16 minutes late is a miracle.
Yeah, true. Dude, you
Wait.
Out of Lusaka.
somewhere Kuchalo. Dude, you were a bit uncomfortable with Elson's language when we started. Right. And then Sampa curses a whole lot as well. So
She does.
How does that work?
She does. Well, I mean, look, guys, I was just joking with Elson. I mean, people speak how they speak. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't, and like I said, I also, it's a struggle of mine. So it's one of the only things that I'm sort of still like, when I'm really pissed, like a cuss word will come out. But like,
I've got something for
yeah.
you.
You've got something on me?
Yeah.
No, please.
But carry on.
So I mean, I kind of feel like to some people, it's kind of like the same debate we'll have in churches where we say, okay, is kissing a sin? Is drinking a sin? Is, all these different things.
Who would think kissing is a sin, though?
Well, bro,
These are questions that have been asked in churches for ages.
I think only SDAs would think this.
Hey.
Please.
Are you SDA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a
I thought that was a UCZ.
Have you seen how SDA's hug?
Yes.
It's a long distance hug.
Say sorry.
Oh god! But you see, the thing is that it's when you're like insulting someone, right? So sometimes people, cuss words can be like an expression. They can be to try and use emphasis and all that stuff, right?
I agree.
So I mean, I'm still not comfortable with it. I feel like, sometimes you can just speak because it can be disrespectful, right? It can be disrespectful. So it's like, but I guess sometimes it works. You know what I mean? Like, there are artists who I listen to, like Kendrick Lamar, who like he cusses, but like, man, some of the stuff he talks about, I'm like, ish, like, that's true. And sometimes I kind of feel like, if he didn't cuss, would it really have as much as the same message, the same gravity,
carry the same weight,
right? So there is that, but I mean, there's just some times when it's just not necessary. You know what I mean? Eminem is one of my favorite artists, but he cusses unnecessarily. Yeah.
Let me ask you something, bro.
Cool.
Do you think that if we are to begin to censor words,
right,
or remove certain words for whatever reason,
right,
whether you feel they are disrespectful, that opens the door to like prehistoric times where governments could, not even prehistoric, it's happening now,
right,
in some countries where they tell people what they can or cannot say. Where then do you draw the line?
Censorship.
There you go.
So,
where then do you draw the line where you say, okay, so the
Like-
only things that you can censor or that you can take out of what
Right.
a person can say will only be limited to this?
Yeah.
Because people then say, oh, okay, so I've seen this in certain songs where they even censor the word God.
right, yeah.
You've seen that, right?
Every movie on DSTV,
Is it-
they'll censor the word God.
Yeah, because
Right.
of course they don't want to offend other religions.
There
as
you
well,
go.
right?
So my point is, if we were to open the door to that, there's no limit where someone will then say, "Oh, you're using the word lesbian, and it
Right.
triggers me or it offends me." And
right, yeah.
there's
yeah.
no limit to that.
True, and that's why when you cuss, I don't leave because I'm like, I can't say don't say these words. I might feel some type of way about them, but the thing is that if that's how you speak, that's how you speak, and all I can do is tell you what I think about that. You know what I mean? I can only tell you, why I feel like that's harmful, and that's so. I think freedom of speech should go. I mean, people can say what they say, do what they do. We should also be allowed to, because I kind of feel like one of the big problems now is that Christians are now not allowed to speak, and they want, secularism to be the one that speaks, and we should just shut up and not say, what the Bible has to say about those things. And it can feel like, oh yeah, you are being judgmental and you're being all this. But the thing is, and that's kind of what I disagree with about freedom of speech, because it's not like really allowing everyone to speak, as much as they'll try and look like, okay, no, everyone's allowed to say what they have to say, but like there are some things that, like the word Jesus can be very uncomfortable to a lot of people.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Just like and especially in the West, like it's crazy. Like, you know, it's probably easier to say the F word than it is to say Jesus, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you know, like if you're gonna say the F word, I should be able to say Jesus. You know, if you're gonna talk about whatever, I should be able, like everyone should be able to speak how they speak. It could be chaotic. It could be chaotic because now I guess there does need to be some form of control to sort of, there does need to be some sort of parental guidance, some sort of censorship. But I don't know, man.
We've become such a, you know, just expanding on what you've just said, we've become a very sensitive generation.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like you're saying, people should be allowed to speak the way they want to speak. If I see a fat person, shouldn't I be then allowed to call that person fat? All of a sudden, this generation, exactly.
True.
All of a sudden, this generation, we've become that sort of people that you can't call a person fat.
Right.
That's offensive.
Call them plus size.
Call them plus size. Call them.
But you've just said the same thing. You just said it differently.
You see what I mean?
That's my point, right?
Have we become so sensitive? Like even comedians are having a really tough time now because the jokes that they could tell 10 years ago,
they cannot do that.
Yeah.
They even try.
But
to
I do like who's this?
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Yeah,
He's unapologetic.
Right.
He says exactly what he wants to say. And they
cancel me. I'm going to.
They have tried over and over
they
again.
Can't cancel that guy.
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
More to his point.
Yeah.
This is why we have people like Andrew Tate.
Being
as popular as they are. He's got millions and millions of followers.
He's created a free space.
Because he says things that
as they are.
We think, but we're too sscared to say.
To say them. Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
And so that shows you basically that what we call misogynistic, or whatever words that we want to use to describe the things that he says, we secretly agree with some of the things that he says.
Right.
But we just don't have the balls to say it.
Right. Yeah. True.
Getting back to the journey of your life, bro. How did you get into production? From sizzle, you jump into production. How did that happen? Did you go to school for it? How did you make a transition?
Unfortunately, I didn't go, which is why, we try to create this school space so that we can give people the opportunity to, so that it's not, they don't go through the same struggles we did. You know what I mean? So what had happened was, I had been to many studios, obviously, before. So, I would always have a challenge with producers because I would always feel like, I wish, we could add that. I wish we could do this. I think the only producer who I ever went to the studio and blew my mind was TK at the time, So, so from seeing, just how different producers work, I could see like, okay, this is software and this is how it works and what. And then my business partner, Ian, he's a very smart guy. So he researched into, at the time, the Fruity Loops and all that stuff. So he knew how to use it and I would just like watch.
I would also want a smart business partner.
Why? No, well, okay, let me finish my thought.
No, you missed the joke. It was a dig at him. Sorry.
Well, yeah. How do you handle each other? Anyway, so from that point on, my business partner had to leave to go and study sound engineering in South Africa. Oh. So I stayed doing nothing. So I thought, okay. Then my older sister bought me a PC. And then a friend of mine from church installed Fruity Loops. So, I started messing around.
I remember Fruity Loops.
Yeah. We still use it today. I think most of the producers use it today. But that was one of the first. It was like Fruity Loops 3 or something. Fruity Loops 1.5. So I made one beat and I remember feeling so good about it. Like that night, I think I went through the night just making beats. And like, it was such a revelation to me, like, oh snap, this is what I'm good at. Like, this is, like people try so many things and you don't really know that this is your thing.
But bruh, hold on. Sorry to keep cutting you off.
Go ahead.
You made the beat.
Yes.
And you listened to the beat.
Yes. And I was like,
and you say this is what I'm good at.
Yes.
So no one else listened to the beat.
Nobody else.
And no one told you that this was good.
That's how good. That's how good the beat was. That's how good the beat was. I was like, guys,
you're like,
damn,
anyone's approval.
Yeah, I did not, because I know, and I played it for. I remember I played those first beats for obviously guys at church. And they were like, okay, this is dope. So, like everyone in church would rap. When I knew my beats were crazy, that sounds so full of myself. But anyways, so when I realized my beat is that I made a beat for a friend of mine from church, and I left it at a studio. Another friend studio, Taz. He had a studio called Jeremy Records. Yes.
I met the guy in
so
Tanzania,
he's one of the guys I would look at and say, oh snap, this guy can make beats. And I would sort of like learn from looking at how he's producing. So I made this beat and I left it at that studio. Then Slap D went to the studio and he was playing through the beats and he heard this beat and he immediately recorded a song. And by the time Taz was coming to the studio, he was like, oh, I've recorded this song. And then song came out, and that song was Foshize. You know Foshize?
Foshize.
Yes. So now the thing is, I had made that beat for guys at church. So they were upset with me, like, bro, how can you give your song to a second? I'm like, no, it was stolen. So now the thing was, obviously, because Taz and I had that relationship, he didn't think anything of it because like it's Max beats,
it's not like when a beat is made, it's like, okay, this one's a Christian beat.
Yes. It's not like the beat was baptized. Yeah. Anyway, so that's so that's how I knew that, okay, you know what, if just at random a beat would be, I mean, at that time it was a huge song. So then from that point on, I knew that this is what I'm truly good at. Yeah.
Dude, more to Elson's point, like how you felt so good when you made your first beat. And this is like almost 20 years ago, right?
This was in 2007, 2008, somewhere there. Yeah.
15 years, give or take.
Yeah. 15 years, give or take, yeah.
Do you still find that joy today when you make a beat? Like what gives you the most joy nowadays in what you do?
Man, I think it's like even just like working with Sampa, right? That to me was big because now we are saying, okay, you know what? We're now trying to make a beat that the rest of the world will consume. You know what I mean? Because those days when we're making beats, we are thinking, okay, I'm going to have a local artist, it's going to be huge. Every bar and every whatever will play the song. But now you're now thinking of taking this to the whole world. You know what I mean? So like, to me, I haven't been, the last time I was excited before Sampa, I think was, when was that? I mean, it was a dry spell for me, to be honest. I didn't feel
That's a very loaded statement, bro. That's a very loaded statement. You're saying we don't have that much talent here.
No. It's not that she's so. I'm not talking about her talent. Yeah. I'm talking about her desire to take it to the world.
All right.
So I mean, there's many. Oh my goodness, talent here is crazy. You know what I mean? And I think I would chat with my friend Pompey, and we would always be like, bro, like how do we take it? It would be things like that we talk about, like, we need to push this beyond our borders, and, Pompey, of course, has had great experience with singing in like Uganda and where, there's a 10,000 audience singing his songs that are in local language, you know what I mean? And they know the songs word for word. So there's been those experiences in Kenya, in Uganda, in Rwanda. But, now when you think of, okay, how do we make this happen in the US and all that stuff? Yeah, like, it just sort of like, it's something you would like to do, but you're just like, maybe it won't be us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like, I want to win a Grammy, but they're like, it's something I want to do 100% for sure. But
what, win a Grammy?
Yeah, win a Grammy for sure. You know what I mean? But it's like, before Sampa, it felt like I don't know if it's
too far fetched.
Yes.
But now you actually see that it's within.
Now I'm just like,
reach.
What was funny was we were watching the Grammy nominations, the ceremony for the Grammy nominations, and I was watching and I'm just expecting that they'll say my name, and I'm watching and then they don't, and I actually got pissed. Like, how? So so when I got pissed, then later on I'm like, Magnus.
Who are you?
You're even getting upset that you're not nominated for a Grammy. I realized something has changed.
Yeah.
And it's not just me, it's a lot of us in the industry that are now thinking like, and because of that, I strongly believe it's gonna happen. If it's not gonna be through me, somebody else.
You're gonna you're gonna produce the guy that
I
know a very good sangoma.
in Livingston?
In Livingston.
The guy who was lifting speakers after prophesying.
I swear. Wait. Yeah, tell me.
Let me tell you.
I need to hear this.
So at Avani, at the Boma, so they relaunched the Boma. Fun fact. You know that they're opening another Avani in Kafue?
Right. Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that would be good.
Yeah,
That's
right.
close by. Yeah, sure.
More stuff for fornication, right?
Wow.
So look, at the Boma, there was a sangoma.
Right.
So he's got a hat, and then there's like a little sign that says sangoma. So I said, let me go in. Talk to him. So then I went in. This guy was so convincing, bro. He was so convincing. He had his bones, he had like everything, and the way he was speaking, it just kind of low-key scared me. I was like, I'm coming back. So then I left, right? And so then we're now speaking to Rodney Sukumba during dinner. And so the event is done. I see the same guy wearing a fila hoodie.
Oh, snap.
Carrying
Jeans,
speakers.
sneakers, and carrying speakers.
And he's wearing like a hoodie and he's not dressed normal. I'm like, wait.
He's an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur.
I was like, man.
No,
That was good.
No, what I'm looking for is a full-time sangoma. Some guy who
This guy was
sleeps,
part-time
eats, breathes.
sangoma. The other part-time is a groundsman at Avani.
I mean, I found out that you're into fintech. Nah, just today.
Wait, so you thought this is what I did for a living?
Yes, I thought this is what you do for a
Well,
living.
how did you know I was into fintech?
Just know that I know. I know you, bro.
Yeah,
I know you,
I don't
bro.
make money from this.
Why? All of this.
Funny, I've actually been asked to speak at an MTN event on Monday. I don't know why, but to speak more
Because
about
of this. It's definitely not because
No,
of
of
your
course,
fintech.
it's got nothing to do with the fintech.
Yeah.
I mean, you hardly ever talk when it comes to that.
Right.
You're the background guys.
Background.
You just.
But this is not about me; it's about you, Mag.
Mike, then at some point in your life, you do a very Kanye West thing. Well, many producers have done
I
it.
got a
Dr.
lot of
Dre.
Kanye West vibe. The more that you were talking,
Well, I hope I don't
Was he
seem like
narcissistic as well?
bipolar.
Who?
No,
Was he narcissistic?
I'm not now. I don't
aren't
think
we
I'm-
all to some point?
I guess so.
everyone
No,
Yeah.
when he was talking about his bits,
Oh yeah, I think that's the only thing I'm super proud of.
like Kanye did not need approval from anybody.
No.
That's what I was
he
saying.
doesn't.
You did a very Kanye West thing when you get into music. You loved what you produced. You're the first person to fall in love with what you produced.
Right.
And then the other Kanye West thing that you did, you then get into rapping.
Right.
You rap?
I do rap.
It's got albums, bro.
I've got like 4 albums. I'm touched, bro. I'll have to make
You know
you
what?
listen
Maybe
to
we
it.
should take a break so that you can.
Yeah, so I can get offended somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you say this in front of my students, bro. Like,
No, I didn't know you rap for real.
Dude, there's an award-winning rapper.
yeah.
No, you don't look like a rapper.
I look like a what? Okay, no, let's not answer. Let's not answer that.
You know, there's people that you look at and you're like, yo, this guy would look like a
a rapper.
musician.
True.
And then there are guys that you look at like, yeah, bro, you look like an accountant.
Like, I can't look like an
Because
accountant.
you've got like, what, 3 albums on your own and one with Pompey,
One
right?
with Pompey. Yeah.
You got a whole album with Pompey.
A
Yeah,
whole
they-
album.
Wait, so was it like a
collaborate-
Christian thing that I'm only gonna do this with you because you're Christian?
I mean, it's because he's my good friend. Like, we just vibe. We just
Why
vibe.
him and not Abel? I feel like Abel is feeling left out here.
Yeah,
We've got
I-
only a handful of you people. We've got a handful of you people. It's
You people.
Oh wow.
You make it sound like it's a special segment of people.
well, it is.
No, I mean, there's a lot of people. But I mean, look, with Abel, I don't even know why we didn't. But we are planning to do
It's the
like an
contact,
album
isn't
together.
it?
It's possibly, yeah. I hate those things. I've always been jealous of Abel. Actually,
Right.
he looks good and
Light skin.
Yeah, light skin.
even on the
all that
album-
stuff. Can play guitar. So it's
Can he
like,
play guitar?
Oh snap, he can. Yeah,
Dude,
Oh,
shit
but
is
did
really
you
good.
see? Oh man, I keep swearing. Did you see about Abel again that someone stole his photo
Oh snap, and used it on
to scam people in Australia?
Yeah.
No
That's,
way.
Yeah,
For real.
yeah,
so
I
they
saw
put on a
that.
fake ID.
they went to our country to scam people.
Who's our country?
Anyway,
But that was crazy though, wasn't it?
It was.
Did you see about
I'm
that?
glad.
Man, I didn't see that. You're the one who tips me about what's happening on social media. So you didn't brief me today.
No, you did not. So yeah, so that's
What was the question again? Well, I was asking about you being a producer. Then
then
you're a
rapping.
producer first.
Yes,
then
and then being offended that he doesn't know that I'm a rapper.
Exactly. How does the rapping then come in?
So I mean, the rapping. So what had happened was, like one of the things I felt like I should stop doing was rapping. So I stopped the TV show and I stopped rapping. So because I would rap in my high school, people knew me, like, I was sort of like a local champion in my like community, my school community, in my neighborhood and stuff like that. So now from there, what had happened was there was a friend of mine. His name is Kenny Rock. Kenny Rock is amazing.
The only Rock we know is Jay.
Rocks.
That's the most Christian thing you've ever said. Thank you. Wait, is that what you meant?
No.
Okay, thank you. Let's
He
leave it
got
at that.
but it's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So, Kenny Rock tells me that, bro, I remember I used to rap and, I don't know what happened. So I was like, no. So he tells me, look, if you do a song, I'll do a video for you. Now, Kenny's videos cost
And
an
he's the
arm
best
and
in
a
the
leg.
game.
Is he expensive?
Very.
Is he good though?
Very.
He does all the ads.
He does adverts in South Africa
Yes,
right now,
yes.
and you know the South African standard. He fits in there.
Yes, he does. He does.
that niche, yeah.
Right. I mean, he's done stuff even in the US. He does. I mean, he just came back from Nigeria doing ads in
I heard
Nigeria.
him.
So he's
I think he
one
did
of
like an
those.
Airtel advert in Nigeria.
Yeah. He does. That's Kenny. Yeah. So, I mean, so he tells me to shoot a video. I'm like, yeah. So I came up with a song.
Which song was this?
This was Vichani.
You came up with a song so you could shoot a video for it.
Yes. Because I'm like, if Kenny's gonna shoot me a video, I better come up with a song.
And that song was dope.
That song was dope. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
At Sun, my ninja is very bad, but you're talking about Uzani was a
Vichani. That's what are those lyrics again?
when rappers
yes.
when rappers forget their own songs.
Uzani uza vichani ndine mwana wa mulungu, every day is a party. Yeah. So like so the beat was interesting. I feel like that was because I fused like African sounds with hip hop, and which has sort of become now like the thing. So it's so doing that, then Kenny shot the video, and I think that sort of now sparked our Lotta House movement, because now from there, after that, Pompey dropped his album, Abel dropped his album, Tio dropped his album, and then we started traveling, going to all these different African countries, and one of the concerts actually had the Uganda concert we did had Museveni on the audience.
No way.
Yeah.
For real.
Was he awake the whole time?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't see him, but he was, because I remember as we were going into the concert venue, there was like snipers everywhere. So I was wondering, like, what's going on here? They're trying to and so no, the president's gonna come and watch. I was like, wow.
Did you hear that he recently passed
The gay thing?
the gay thing?
Did he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Last week.
Oh, snap.
Punishable by death.
Oh, you mean passed against the gay? Okay, cool. I thought maybe he allowed the.
No.
Museveni.
Yes.
Either you get now either you get a life sentence or sentenced to death.
Wow.
As of last week, Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, that's a whole another topic. It's a but I just think that okay, so you consider that a sin, like you probably need to give as much of a heavy punishment to every other sin, right? So if you're gonna say corruption, which is the biggest
he's
problem we
corrupt,
have.
so he can.
Yes, so he needs to check himself on that. If he's gonna judge people, I think the problem with the world is that we
have selective morality.
We have selective morality. Yeah, exactly. We say this sin is bigger than this sin, and that's my problem.
I've always said that.
Yes, so it should be treated. You shouldn't exalt any sin more than the other, because God looks at it all the same.
I didn't say that on the Mike Burner thing.
episode,
I said the same thing. No sin is greater than the other.
Yeah, true.
It's like sinners judging other sinners for sinning differently.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you stole, you're worse than me that lied.
Right.
But in the eyes of God,
but the heaviest one we think is the heaviest sin, fornication.
Right.
Who's we?
No, I'm just saying the way people
Just
judge.
generally, yes,
if
so
somebody stole a loaf of bread from a bakery
Yeah.
and somebody fornicated, everybody would be like, sinner.
This one, right?
Of course.
He was
Yeah.
probably just hungry. But you,
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You might have been hungry too.
Dude, this is something I want to figure out. Oh, by the way, so crazy. Can you see how big the text on his laptop are? You going blind there, bro?
You gotta see. It doesn't. No, it's not too big.
Bruh.
I think it's okay.
Isn't that like zoomed in like 200%? Dude, look, here's what I want to find out. So I didn't know that these were your students until just now.
Oh, yes. No. Oh, you thought they were just like
Yeah,
fans?
I figured we were just hanging out as friends.
Oh, okay.
Dude, here's what I want to find out.
They look like stalkers. Especially the one who came from church. The SDA.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, you were saying?
You know, the biggest issue that I have
Right.
of late is I need to get off social media.
Yeah.
I go on social media and I see people, youths, young people wasting their time,
Right.
wasting their resources, wasting their talent, going on social media, basically being invested in either gossip or controversial stuff.
Right.
And those are the same people who still go on to complain about being broke, about being hungry, about not having opportunities.
Right.
You see a quote-unquote celebrity post something, it gets 50, 60,000 likes and so many responses and so many likes. They're so invested in what other people are doing.
Yes.
If there is scandal, it runs on for a week.
Right.
And that really gets to me because when I look at the limited number of examples that we have of people that have broken that barrier that are doing good, people such as yourselves, everybody in this room that actually would have, you are about to break that light, that would have been, I don't know, somewhere twerking, but they're here now, trying to learn a craft.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine if somebody in an SDA uniform was twerking. Now that would trend.
Wow. I'm so sorry.
I don't know what's your
We
thinking.
love
I'm
you.
sure you've seen that before, right? What's your thinking about you get people who take pride in saying, "Oh, we are the disciplinary committee."
Right.
We spent the whole week stalking a lady from Nigeria who snapped Peter from hugging him. So we're gonna stalk her page every single day for a week until she apologizes. So what's the price there? Did that pay your rent?
And that's, I mean, I don't know. You know, I think that, time is a very precious thing. And I feel like people don't realize that, living for, at the most you can live for probably between 80 and 120 years is still not a long time. You know what I mean? It's not. So like there's only so much you can do.
Kalinga's halfway there.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. No, it's not
Are you
true.
serious?
Yeah.
Are you? Wow.
I'm 50. I just eat well.
I think play the crooked sign.
Oh, the crickets.
So you were saying, Mac?
I mean, I was saying that I think people just need to know that they all have different paths, and I feel like it's hard for people to believe that, because people feel like I don't feel like I have a purpose here, and things like depression are very real because and I think one of the big causes of that is that people are trying to live someone else's life, and then they realize they can't, and it leaves them in a place of depression, and they start insulting the people who
and they
are
sit in the
living their
basement
lives.
somewhere,
right?
Right, where they create this character that
Yes.
lives. I feel like people like that would much rather live in the metaverse.
Exactly.
Because
That's why it's there. Right?
Yeah.
Because I when I look at the metaverse, I'm thinking, what's the point? But then I mean, it's because there's a huge market for it.
Because in this universe, you're a virgin.
Yes.
You're broke.
Yeah.
Nobody likes you, and so you're gonna create this fantasy.
Yes.
Where you're gonna go on social media, where you can literally be anybody that you want to be.
And not that there's anything wrong with being broke and a virgin, and
There is a lot about being broke. I don't know why you want to accept that narrative.
The thing is, it's a step towards it's acknowledging that I am broke,
That's
doing
the
something about
acknowledging
it. Right?
it is one thing.
Yes.
Being broke and being content and comfortable with it is another.
Yeah, true.
Because that's a dangerous.
Now that's where the
mindset.
problem is.
Yes.
Because those are the dangerous people.
Those are the dangerous, for sure. And I think that needs to be people, and people are trying to get to a certain place without really knowing like the story of how people got there. You know, like
Right.
you look at your celebrity and you're like, okay,
They want to get there.
They want to get
They
there.
want to do
and
the
they
work to
don't-
get
right,
there, though.
Right. They don't want to do the work.
Dude, speaking of celebrities and money, remember the Jay-Z dinner of $500,000?
Wait, what?
Remember that thing that was making the rounds on Instagram?
I did not see that. No.
Would you rather get money?
Would you rather get $500,000
Or have
or
dinner
dinner
with
with Jay-Z?
Interesting.
What
That's
would
a
you
tough
do?
question. I'd rather get the money, to be honest.
So, okay,
the
so
wise
two people.
thing, the wise thing is
Yeah.
probably to have dinner with Jay-Z. But
Well,
the truth
I'll ask you
is,
something
he
just
can't teach you everything in it.
I'll ask you something just
That's
now.
for sure.
You said
So
money as well.
take the money, yeah.
Does everybody say money? Right, so I'll ask you.
Right.
If you get the 500,000, how would you grow it?
I would grow it so many ways, bro. I mean, I've already got businesses
two.
that I'm thinking. I'll definitely invest in the school. I'll definitely invest in my studios. I'll definitely invest in my. I do a bit of farming. You know, I invest basically. Anyways, I'll
How
put
would
it up. Yeah.
How would you grow the money? Yeah. Eventually?
I would build up an organization for kids, one that is going to allow them to have an education that they didn't have earlier on, and then give a voice to their child.
So how would that make you money?
It probably
That's going to
wouldn't.
make me money because I know I'm investing in life, that when they grow up, it shouldn't profit me. I don't feel like it's going to profit me, but it should profit their life that is probably not there.
So basically, you're
So
gonna
I
get
guess
500,000 and spend it.
Look, you see, look,
Should have done the
profit.
dinner.
Investing
Huh?
in life.
She should have done the dinner.
Because what you just told me is something which will not get your money back.
No, I wouldn't like to have my money to myself selfishly. I would also love to give a life out there.
What's your name?
Mentally.
Mutale. You get $500,000. At a stretch, say it benefits 100 people. And the money is finished because you've built an organization that takes resources and those people then go to school. Now your money is done. You don't have any more money to get 100 more kids. Maybe at a stretch, 10% of those decide to pay you back. But it's still not going to be enough to take more kids to school. Do you agree? That's my point, that you have now taken the money and you've just spent it. Whereas my question had been,
How would you grow it?
How do you grow it?
Well, look, guys, here. Profit doesn't always have to be monetary. So sometimes investing in if that's what you're passionate about, you want to invest in people's lives and seeing those people become something. If that's profit to you. You know what I mean? If
I hear you.
If
So-
let's say
so my
out of that
point- so here's my
500,000, you use 50,000
So
to
here's
build
my,
yourself
so,
a
so
house,
here's my
and then
point.
the rest.
I hear what you're saying.
Right.
My point is, you can do a lot more good
Right.
if you're smart about how you invest it.
Right. True.
So the end goal is to get kids, as many kids as you can,
Right.
through school.
Right.
Option one is take the entire 500,000,
Yeah.
give it out all to kids that want school.
Right. Right.
The other option is what you've said. I'll take 250 of that, invest it in a music. That'll grow me money. 10% of the money that is growing is going to go to
The kids.
how many more? Which of those two options would see more kids going to school? The first or the second? That's my point.
I see. Okay. That
I'm asking this a second way.
entrepreneurship.
This is me basically trying to figure out who your idols are in your life. I mean, we've already spoken about the $500,000 or Jay-Z. But if you could, choose any two famous people to have dinner with, who would they be?
I think Tyler Perry would be one of them.
Good choice.
He's
He's
smart.
gay, right?
I don't know, but I don't know him like that.
I don't know. He gives me gay vibes.
No, well, because people say because he's not in a relationship with anyone.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. It has nothing to
You
do
could
with
have a point.
I think well, yeah.
He does give gay vibes, right?
But like, what are gay vibes? Like,
I don't know. Telling and I also have this gay radar.
We just know.
you just know.
We just know.
We've been in a room and we just know.
So many times we're in a room and a gay person walks in, we look at each other like,
Is there anyone giving off gay vibes in this room?
yes, one.
Who's that?
I'm not going to say names.
Okay, point a finger. The camera will
You
show.
have seen the person, haven't you? You've seen the person, haven't you? I would hate to think I'm the only person that saw that.
Oh my goodness. I think I haven't seen it, so
You haven't?
I believe in my people. Everybody here.
No, so what are you saying about gay people? You don't believe in them?
No, I don't. Hey. Let's talk after the show.
Go ahead with your questions.
Oh man.
Dude, judging, looking at who Mag44 is today. Okay, you are this giving person. I mean, you've opened the Loop College.
You gave one person. You said only Tyler Perry. I thought you were going to give us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a second.
Before I ask my question, yeah.
Man. I mean, I love Jay-Z as well because of obviously.
Good choice again.
Yeah, he's very. What the conversation I would want to have with him is because I feel like he touches on different businesses and like how does he manage to sort of keep all of them going, so to say. So it's because it can be quite. I try different things and sometimes I'll pay more attention to one thing and the other thing fails and so it's trying to. I feel like that juggle. How do you juggle these different things I think is a big question for a lot of people, especially Zambia is very entrepreneurial. So
I think another pretty important question, especially for somebody who's in your field, if you were to have a conversation with him, would be, I had this conversation with Kalenga where people like Jay-Z used their fame because he's a billionaire now, right? But then his billions don't come from music.
Right.
He used his fame.
Yeah.
That got him into doors.
Right.
Which ordinarily wouldn't have entered.
Yes.
Which ordinarily he wouldn't have entered.
Right.
So the conversation should be around that, which is, I feel like more importantly than recognizing a good deal, more importantly than that is recognizing a bad one. Because when you are in that position, do you know how many business proposals you are inundated with?
Exactly. True.
How many people come to you saying, listen, if you give me 2,000, I'll make it
Remember
20
his
million?
cousin when he was sharing on the Kevin Hart podcast. He was talking about a cousin who came to him saying, dude, came to Jay-Z and Jay-Z says, this cousin of mine at a family, I think it was a Thanksgiving dinner, comes to him and says, I've got a business idea. Give me $4,800 and I'll give you back $2 million in a year. And Jay's just like, dude, it doesn't work that way. You know the way Jay-Z talks?
Yeah.
With his voice? So it sounded so funny when he says, dude,
yes.
it doesn't work that way. But all the time you're getting all these proposals. Like more to Elson's point. You're inundated with so many proposals.
Right. So you have to know, you have to be wise enough to yes.
disseminate.
So that is, I guess, yes, essentially I would want that sort of wisdom. Both Tyler and Jay, I feel, have that wisdom to know, what is, because I'll tell you, I hate Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But the guy, those things sell. You know what I mean?
He knows
so it's
his
like
market.
he knows he's got an understanding that I don't know.
One of the things, speaking of Jay-Z and what Mtali said Mtali, right?
Mtali, yeah.
Oh.
The one thing that he's done that I would love to get to this point is his mother. So firstly, his mother is lesbian. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the mother's lesbian.
Yeah.
He even rapped about it in some song.
You are kidding me.
No. So
Oh, snap.
the one thing, so his mom has got a passion for education and getting kids who cannot afford education to go to school.
Right.
So when he made his first billion, he took 10% off that. Then he gave it to his mother to open an organization where she goes around and identifies and looks for these
That's
kids.
a lot of money. $100 million.
$100 million.
Imagine that.
Can't he identify?
So now she's got
me?
like a full-time job.
That's good, man. Empower your parents. Empower your mom like that.
Sure.
Dude,
That's crazy.
speaking of parents, I was talking about, we know who Mag44 is today and we appreciate the person you are and how much you're giving and how much you've given to the industry. And look at this. There's the Loop College now. Yeah. A lot has come into shaping who Mag44 is. Right. You know what I mean? It's in your formative years being mostly from 0 to 12, yeah?
Right.
Those are the years where you don't really decide who you're going to become.
Right.
Your parents are shaping you, molding you into...
Yeah.
Unless you become unlucky like Elson and just turn out something else. But I bring this up
I turned out to be what I wanted to be, actually.
Exactly my point. You chose.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Was the choice?
But you don't believe me.
Was it a good choice?
You say what?
Was it a good choice?
Was it a good choice?
Software development?
Yeah.
The best choice I could have made.
Serious?
The best choice I could have made.
But how do you, because with like the way things are advancing in AI, are you worried that your job is going to be...
No.
Serious?
Sorry, excuse me. No.
Fudge no.
You did fudge no.
Because there's a lot that AI has limitations.
Really?
It doesn't think.
It doesn't seem to have...
It doesn't think.
Some of the things...
Here is an example. Where I'm coming from, I was meeting a potential client. They tell you what solution they need.
Right.
So you get solution, they want an ERP. Then they go a step further.
In English?
An ERP is an enterprise.
I'm sure someone out there understands.
Enterprise resource planning. So it's something that sort of runs an organization. If a company has got a finance department, it has the finance component, the HR component, the accounting, the IT, stores, human resources, whatever it is. So it's like one big system that the company uses. Anyway, the point is, the difference between a person and AI is some companies will then go a step further and tell you in what language you're supposed to code in, because some languages are easier to hack than others. So this particular client told me that we want this written in Python.
GUI.
So then that way already you sort of now have to have that discussion where you now sit, you have a back and forth, what the expectations are, and et cetera. So I feel like there's some industries, copywriters, those will be out of a job because of AI, but there's some industries that would still need
the human touch.
Yeah.
Dude, I asked what I asked because in trying to understand who you are,
Right.
and knowing how you were raised, you've got no choice.
Yeah.
And when you grow up and you look back, let's say in retrospect, you don't quite agree with everything. If you could change anything, about the way you were raised, what would it be?
If I could change, I think one of my biggest issues is something that we talked about earlier about being raised by both parents. I don't know if that is me changing something, but I wish I had both my parents.
What happened to your dad?
No. Let's say with what your mom taught you and raised you as.
Right.
What would you change about that?
Yeah, like I feel like I would have wanted, because you see, there's a lot of things about being a man that I feel I'm only learning now. You see what I mean?
Right.
So and when I look at my friends who've had both parents, there are things that are just like instinctive.
Comes naturally.
Yes, but for me, I have to think and say, "Oh, I'm a man, so I need to make a decision a certain way." You know what I mean? I don't know if it makes sense, but you just there are some things that. So I've had to learn a lot, and thankfully, I've had good friends who've sort of allowed their parents to be like parents to me, and that's sort of now where I've learned the dynamic of like how to be a man, how to be in control of the situation, how to be a provider, about how just basic things that I wouldn't have learned. Being raised by a single mom or being raised as an orphan, So like, I feel like that, and I feel like that's a big problem with a lot of families. It's something that people won't accept, but I think that families with both parents do a lot for society. They create a balanced person. Not to say all kids who've come from both parents are great. There's definitely messed up ones, but I think that that is a huge and important balance, I feel. Yeah.
But don't you think that is where, before the white people came here,
right,
and imposed Christianity on us,
right,
there was monogamy,
right? Yeah, sure.
With what you have just said, where you said you feel like kids with both parents, have an advantage.
Yeah,
they're a lot more grounded.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, or the idea of monogamy or how people lived is one woman could have sex with, say, 10 guys.
Right.
Whoever was in the village.
Right.
So whatever guy had sex with that woman, if that woman got pregnant and gave birth to a child, it was the responsibility for all those 10 guys.
Really?
To take care of that one.
Should read about it.
Which I should read that. Yeah. Which? A
lot of African cultures had
really?
that. Yeah.
Oh snap!
So monogamy. What did I just say? What was the initial? I said monogamy.
You
right?
did say monogamy.
No,
you meant to say polygamy. Right?
Polygamy.
In Africa, we had polygamy.
Yes, we had polygamy.
Polygamy is so the entire thing that I was just describing was polygamy. So monogamy then came where if one of those 10 guys was wealthy, so if he owned a lot of cattle or a lot of land, obviously he had his doubts that fine, I'm taking care of this child, but it might not be mine. It might be Kalenga's. You know what I mean? But it's your responsibility to take care of the child.
Right.
But now if one of those 10 is wealthy, that person needed an heir. for their wealth. So what he would do is he would grab Mutale and say, okay, so listen, you're not going to have sex with any of these guys, only with me. Not because I love you,
yes, but
because I want to be sure that the child that comes out of you is mine.
Yeah, I see. And not mine in a genetic sense, but like I'll raise this child to think like me. So
Exactly.
Right?
And to take over my wealth.
Right.
Yeah. So it was two things that I just raised there. It's funny because then women think monogamy came out of love. It did not come out of love.
No.
It came out of property and men wanting to create an heir for their wealth. But the second point that I was just making.
And the white missionaries came and made it evil.
Yes.
When they preached to us. So.
I mean, of course, that's the Gandhi said, I like the Christ, but I don't like the Christian. Because Christians, like I said, they are human beings who are flawed. And of course, a lot of people, it's not even the white man only, even today, you see all these people use the gospel to like steal from people. Use
start
the
wars.
They people will do that. You know what I mean? So you have to. For me, I don't think about Christianity anymore. I think about my relationship with God. Like one-on-one, me and Him, and I feel like that is what guides me. And I'll tell you now, African tradition around things like marriage and family and all that stuff, there's a lot of power in there that holds a lot of families together that Western culture just can't. You know what I mean? And so I sometimes you just have to look and say, guys, okay, what's working? A lot of Indians, with arranged marriages or whatever, or
and living in the same compound.
Those you might look at that and say, no, I don't want to share space or whatever, but it works. You know what I mean? It works. They've created a system around, thinking about human behavior in their context, and that's what makes them thrive. It makes that community thrive. So. I don't think it's okay for us to just discard everything because we are like, it's African. It's not Christian.
All of us have cultures.
All of us have cultures, exactly. Yeah.
Dude, my last question. And we've gone on an hour plus. Dude, when you're getting into an industry, of course it seems all glamorous and it's so exciting and things like that. You've been in the industry for 15 years, producing good music year after year. But again, in retrospect, because I love history that much, when you look back now, what do you wish you had known getting into the industry?
That's a good question. That's why I asked you to send me the questions, because now I have to think about it.
What, did you want to Google the answers?
I need to go, exactly.
Chat GPT the answers.
I have to sound as smart as possible at all times as I wear my shades. So I think one thing I should have learned, I wish I knew, is that I won't become rich immediately. song drops. I remember, when the song, we had this song out, and everyone was listening to it except Elson, and I was becoming popular, but then the thing is I had no money. You know what I mean?
That's
so I'm walking, I used to live in Kablonga. We used to rent a cottage behind the main house.
Yeah.
So I used to live there, and then so if I want to get on a bus, at the time there were no buses going through that, is it Bishop Road?
So Bishop's down to...
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had to walk all the way down to Friday's Corner.
Kalingalinga.
Yes, Kalingalinga.
Wow.
For me to get on a bus. So now that strap, I'm walking,
and everybody
and
knows you.
people in Range Rover. I love your music. And then I'm like,
the cute girl on her way to work.
Yes, yeah. No, you know what I mean? So it's I kind of felt I wish I had known that this is not equals to this. And I feel like a lot of people, that's the mistake they make. They look at social media and they think, oh, this person did this. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be rich. But the thing is, you haven't taken time to see what happened in the background for them to be where they are. You know what I mean? So it's. I think I wish I was told that you will get influence, but now, you know, like Elson said, how do you use that influence now to sort of, morph, make something, do something bigger out of that, you know? So, I would say that's, and the thing is, being an artist, I won't say is the most sustainable thing, because it's like being a soccer player. It can only go on for so long.
True.
And so some people it goes for a long time, some people it's very short, but you have to now say, okay, this, asset I've got of being popular, what am I going to do with it? And
And I think there's nothing more painful for a famous person than being famous and broke.
Always.
Yeah.
This is why we need to turn this camera off.
I think all of us in the industry, well, most of us in the industry have been through that one before, man.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, with in and around Zambia, apart from yourself, who do you feel are producers as good or better than you? Give me two. Give me three.
I actually do like there's two producers. They are quite a number, to be honest.
No, just give us three.
I'll give you three. So I love Solomon Plate, definitely. It's
That guy produces as well?
He's
Serious?
He's bad news.
Even I knew that.
Oh, wow. Do you even know who Solomon Plate is?
No.
Yeah. He's bad news. He's bad news.
Useless.
He's very good at his craft. He produced some stuff on Sampa's album as well.
Word?
So he did Chili Bobo. And what else did he do? There's a song called Mask On. So that one we made the beats together. I made parts of it. He made the other parts. So yeah, he's brilliant. I love Tony Breezy because that guy can play almost every instrument.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
He started from church as well, right?
In
Rwanda. If I'm not mistaken.
I do love. So I love the fact that he's very versatile. He reminds me of like Ryan Leslie. I don't know if you remember that producer. Yeah. So like so that I also like a guy called Easy. You guys know Easy, I'm sure.
No.
You guys don't know Easy?
No.
Guys, what song
does he produce?
Easy, Big Easy, make him bounce.
Easy.
Oh,
that guy.
We know his
Yes,
signature.
that guy. Yeah. So he's so I would say those three are the known ones that you guys.
Was that in any particular order?
No particular order.
Right.
It was
Because
I mean,
it's always safer to say that.
to be honest, let me tell you guys something. I don't like listening to music actually. Yeah.
Really?
No, I don't, because
Podcasts?
I don't
You don't listen to anything.
I don't listen to I just because the thing is I don't like listening to music because I feel like I'm working when I'm listening to a song.
Because you're analyzing every intricate part of a song.
Yes. Oh no, why didn't he do this? Oh,
why wasn't the drop here?
Yes.
So you can't switch that off.
I can't switch that.
You know, it's like me listening to podcasts.
Yes,
Because for me, what gives me joy about podcasts is the sound.
Right.
So I'm listening to a podcast and there's echoes and things like that. I listen to podcasts, I listen out for the mistakes mostly.
Yeah.
It's like work as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I know how you feel. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually hard for me to now. I don't know a lot of like what's the sounds that are going on. Usually the young producers at the school, it's Dimitri, Ezekiel, and all these different guys. They now come and tell me, this is the sound that's going on.
There's a log drum now
there's
from
now
piano.
Yes. No, there's now this, And so that's what I use as to sort of develop.
Internationally? And the producers?
Producers, there's two guys who I'm listening to right now. There's Labyrinth. You guys probably don't know these guys.
I know Labyrinth.
You know Labyrinth.
Yep.
Labyrinth is.
You remember the guy?
Euphoria.
See beneath your beautiful.
No.
Okay, Euphoria. You watched the series.
movie.
Is it a series?
The series, yes.
So all that
Very
music
dark.
in the series is his
Oh,
music.
really?
Yes. Yeah. He produces.
Interesting.
So he does scores. He does.
Drake is part of Euphoria as well.
Yes. He's more in an executive
Yeah.
position. Yeah. I also like Hans Zimmer. So Hans Zimmer.
Who doesn't like Hans Zimmer movies, bro?
He's,
Every hit movie, there's a Hans Zimmer touch somewhere. Yeah.
do you know who Hans Zimmer is? Also?
No.
Okay. Cool.
He's if the music is intense in a movie.
You've watched Inception.
No.
Wow. Batman.
Yes.
Okay.
Which one?
Which one? Yes.
Not the one with Ben Affleck. That was
no,
worst.
not those ones. The ones with Christian Bale.
Yes, I have.
So all that
The
music
music.
was his.
Okay.
Yes.
If the music, especially action movies, if the music is very intense and it draws you into a scene, guarantee Hans Zimmer is behind that.
And Hans Zimmer usually makes beats for music. He does scores for Christopher Nolan's movies.
Action, mostly action.
So so I'd say Labyrinth. I mean, I love Timbaland. I think that he did something amazing for sound, basically. Like,
He did. And you can. They're pretty distinct, hey?
Yes.
But I would put Timbaland, the Neptunes,
Yeah. Swiss beats.
Swiss beats almost in the same category.
Right. Yeah.
Like their beats are very
can tell.
distinctive.
Yes.
And I would put Kanye West,
Just Blaze.
Guru, Just Blaze.
Right. Yeah.
They sample a lot of.
They do sample.
They do. Yeah, they've got a lot of samples as well.
Right.
In the same category as well.
Yeah. I mean, now there's a lot of new guys. Diplo, Skrillex. Oof.
What happened to Mustard?
Beats.
Remember that Mustard?
I never liked that guy.
Why? Because he was fat?
Oh, really? I didn't know his body weight, but like he's. I mean, I think the beats were just too simple for me. I don't like simple beats. I like it when they are complicated, and the general public doesn't like.
Just Blaze has got a lot of drums.
Yes.
For me, the two most complicated, Timbaland and Swizzy.
That's not complex at all.
Nah, it
This
is.
is a lot of drums.
It's a lot of drums.
And a lot going on when you really listen to the sound carefully. But anyway, story for another day.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any questions?
Oh yeah.
Me, Kalenga, Mag44.
Yeah.
Actually, now I see two.
What do you
You
mean?
asked me if I. Okay, nothing.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Do we have an extra mic?
No. You can take mine. You can come here.
Do I stand?
Yeah, you have to come to the. Cool.
So you are a gospel artist,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about your idols and whatnot, I was kind of expecting you would pick Christian
Some Christian people.
idols.
Yeah. True.
Wow.
So how do your like maybe your church members feel about you when they listen to this and they're like, wait,
Yeah.
Mag's idol or someone that he looks up to is not even
Yeah.
pastor or someone in the Christian community?
Right. Yeah.
Does that have an effect on you, or you just take it saying it's people, they have their thoughts, but
Right.
this is my relationship with God, like you had put it?
Right. I mean, I think I do have to be. I mean, that topic is very. I have that sort of discussion with a lot of my Christian friends about how we feel about maybe for lack of a better term, Christian pop culture. I feel like what normally happens with us as Christians, we are normally trying to make a Christian version of what's already there. So that kind of becomes a problem for me. But Tyler Perry is a Christian, so and I look up to him. So, but yeah, it I mean, to be honest, if you ask me about speakers, I would probably mention a lot of pastors. Pastors from here who have impacted me crazy. But with regards to, let's say, things like making beats and production, there are not very many who I can say, oh, this is a Christian producer who I look up to. I would be lying. I would just be saying it out of trying to say, yes, trying to be like in-house. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You look high. You look high. You look
high. As in high like tall or like
No.
she smoked something?
No, like high, like
No.
something about your eyes. No, it's your eyes.
My
It's
eyes.
your eyes.
Yeah.
They hurt a lot. It's
But am I the
like-
first person to ever say that?
Yes.
I'm the first person to say you look high? Oh, well, clearly they're not your friends because they're not honest with you.
Do it though.
But also you were late, so you are the one who's got the higher chance of being high.
Of being high?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Because
I'm just
maybe
being
you went
honest.
to do before you.
Yeah, you might have a point.
Okay. I have two questions
Sure,
for you.
no
so
problem.
my first question is, did you ever get intimidated by any artist whilst you were doing your music?
Yeah.
And then
Intimidated how? Like they scared him?
yeah,
Like
like,
they're like-
an example. I don't listen to Beyonce. I don't like Beyonce because I easily get intimidated. I sing, but
Oh, that type of intimidation, like you don't measure up.
Yes.
Like you don't measure up. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Then,
sure.
what advice would you give? Because you said you started making beats because the first time you tried it, you made a beat that you were proud of. So you knew to say this was your area of interest.
Right.
So what advice can you give to somebody like me who's still discovering myself? Because I recently started writing songs.
Yeah.
I'm a good singer. I do this and that, but I don't really know which one is
Okay, which one's the one?
Yes.
Right.
Play with yourself more.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Lord Jesus, help my brother Elson.
What did I say? Wrong advice?
No. It's
How
fine.
else would she discover herself?
She. Well, look. What was the first question? So you just remind me of the first question.
Intimidated you?
Who intimidated you? Who intimidated me?
By anyone?
Beat making wise, no. I've never felt like intimidated. I
Nobody
always
measure
feel. Well, not. No one would sort of just make me feel like, oh, I need to stop. Like no one would. I would always just think, oh, that's different. And I would be like, okay, that's cool. How did they do that? But it would never make me feel like I'm less of a producer or whatever. I just felt like, this is me. This is what I do. You know what I mean? But for being an artist, hey, I was intimidated all the time. Yeah. I mean,
Two artists who intimidated you.
Pompey and Ebochung.
It had to be from your WhatsApp group.
No, because those guys are good though. Like it's not even. I mean, like Pompey can sing and rap, and when it's time to rap, he's gonna rap. If it's time to sing, he's going to sing. You know what I mean? Ebo can sing. He can also rap. He can play the guitar. So it's always. I would always feel like snap. I would feel intimidated by those guys. That's for
Are you
sure.
guys done with the questions? Okay.
So yeah, I mean, look.
Yes, Mtale.
Yes. We need to see the uniform.
I'm in my uniform.
It's flaccid, isn't it? What, Meg? What was it not?
Well,
Just come closer.
Okay, here. So I feel this opportunity was so interesting, and it's one that I feel I've learned a lot. Though I can maybe admit, but then I've got questions for the three of you. Yeah. So one question is for these two, and the other question is yours. So my question is, who?
It's okay.
Okay, thanks. So my question is, you've mentioned that you don't just do one business where you are at right now. And how has it been possible for you to do podcasts and other businesses? How best have you managed your time? Is there any strategy that you use towards that we can learn? Because I feel this is an opportunity for us to go into diverse activities, earning an income and as well developing ourselves. So that's your question. And then for Mag, the question I have is, you've mentioned of a number of artists, quite all right. But then what room have you given to people like us who can't sing? We don't sing. I can't sing. I don't have a singing voice, but I do talk. And I feel a podcast is one of those privileges that you've given us. But to what extent are you giving this platform to people like us who can't sing, but we can talk?
Okay, great. So should I?
Yes,
do you guys want to answer your question?
Yeah, you can go
Okay,
first.
cool. I mean, like with the school, of course, we're trying to just create a platform that then you build off. We've got the privilege, of course, of having these two gentlemen who've got probably the biggest podcast in Zambia to speak to you guys. You know what I mean? So like, what you choose to do with this beyond today is entirely up to you guys. You know what I mean? Just try and work this opportunity. You know what I mean? Like these guys have so many places they could have been, but they're here, and so just try and take advantage of that. and build off that. I feel like, with a lot of things that have been created in the industry, people feel like like they don't have to work to go further because these people have done it for you and they will just give you everything you need. Imagine these guys didn't have like someone to teach them how to make podcasts. They were the first ones, you know what I mean? And so they've provided a platform for you guys to build off and make something even greater and bigger. You know what I mean? So take those advantages and take them well. So so I think this would be as far as we go with regards to giving you a platform. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just do as much as you can with it.
I feel we all have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
It's basically how you use it that's important. I'm pretty deliberate about what I spend my time on. And I've been one person, and I get this from my mom, where if a day goes by, I think I speak to Kalenga a lot more than I speak to anybody. Is he feels the same way as I feel, which is if a day goes by and I haven't done anything that I can point to which is productive, I feel like shit that day. So I feel it's we all have 24 hours, and it's basically how you manage to align some of the things that you do. He's got 2 radio stations. I'm a software developer and I'm in fintech, but we have to find time. If we are able to record 2 or 3 episodes in a week, which will essentially alleviate 2-3 weeks moving forward, then we'd rather do that. So we'd have to just create time to get that done.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much answered for me as well. Yeah. So. And like I said when we had the workshop earlier today, podcasting is a work of heart. I hope you understood that. Like it comes out of passion for us. So to even find time to do this when we're not really making that much money from it, you know what I mean? That should tell you that for us, this is passion. It's like, can I call it a hobby?
Did you reply to Betway's email?
Speaking of money, right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, we're good. No worry.
Wow.
Moving swiftly along, like I wasn't rudely interrupted by my.
Nigga, this is money.
But anyway,
you can never be really interrupted.
Look, sometimes we have dry spells. It's not making money, but we still show up like like we're getting paid, like it's a job. We still show up for it because of the passion we have for it. So, just to add on to the answer he gave, while he's putting eye drops in his eyes. Yeah, I mean. And I think that's another nice thing about podcasting. Yeah. It's a free space. We're not regulated by the Independent Broadcasting Authority. We don't have a boss. He can put eye drops while we do this. That's the point I was driving at. We can have fun. It's our space.
Nobody can fire you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, you're on the internet, right? So the people, you always have a market. The people that listen to you are your bosses.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mike, it's been a real episode.
Thank you.
We've had some fun.
Yeah, in hour 42, that's my camera. Big shout out to Caps. I don't think you spoke about Caps and Price, did you?
Did you hear me talk about Caps and Rights Price at the beginning?
Yeah, we did.
Look at that.
Yeah. It'd be nice if you could come early. You would have heard all these things.
Hey, listen, this doesn't pay my bills.
The late Elson.
All right? I've got a son whose fees is expensive. I have to work.
Yeah. Same here.
This is work, though.
Yeah, it is work.
Yeah.
You say what? Yeah, well, this was amazing. My apologies for being late. I would have wanted to be here yesterday, but I couldn't. We're supposed to have Dalisa on today in the morning. We'll try and see if we can still make that happen.
Yeah.
Which Dalisa?
The comedian from Malawi, the guy with high-pitched voice.
Oh, okay.
We could still make it happen. Cool. Till the next episode, have a lovely day. Remember to... What are you forgetting? Yeah. As you remember to click on subscribe. And also, if you support the people that support us, that would be very beautiful. We're talking about Caps, like he mentioned, and Rights Prices.
That's how we are able to afford fuel and...
yes.
And life.
And the crew.
All those giddy gadgets.
And the 3 camera crew that we have here today. That's how we're able to afford them, by you supporting the people that support us. So buy from right price. Remember, you can trade in your old gadgets for new ones. And you can buy your European car spare parts from Caps Spares Solutions in town. They're also in Solwezi, Livingston, and where else? Kitwe. Ndola. To the next episode.
Did you say Livingston?
Yes, I did.
Did. And there's 2 in Lusaka.
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah, we can go now. Shit. These guys are laughing like, why can't these guys go already? Till the next episode, have a lovely day.
Dun, 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 dun.